I know I might get some flack for this, but the Disney animated movie Moana is dull, is boring. Honestly, it's one of the most boring and dull movies and also Disney animated movies I've ever seen. Yeah. And honestly, it's a shame. It's a shame that it turned out to be boring and dull. Because I was actually looking forward to watching it and liking it and enjoying it, you know? Because I remember when it first came out, first got announced and everything, and I saw stuff about it online and, trailers and everything. It looked so. It looked cool. It looked fun. It looked interesting. It looked like it was going to be a cool, fun, enjoyable, interesting, good time, you know? And I thought, oh, I'm going to like this. I'm going to enjoy this. And yeah. And eventually it came out and it came out online and eventually I watched it. And God, I've never been so bored watching a movie before. Like, nothing, barely anything in this movie was interesting. Nothing engaged me. Nothing piqued my interest in the slightest. The story, the plot, the characters, everything else that was going on in the movie, it was all just, it just all dragged on. It was just all so boring and dull. It was just felt like there was nothing to it. Like, like I said, I've never been more bored watching a movie. And I don't know, it was just a big nothing burger, Like, I don't know. But I guess there was some interesting things too. One being that weird little chicken character, the comic relief one. The one I'm talking about. I liked him. He was kind of funny and a little interesting, to watch. And also, Maui himself was kind of an interesting character. Kind of. And also, his You're Welcome song was, kind of enjoyable and catchy, and made it kind of watchable. But other than that, other than those two things, everything else was just boring. Like, honestly, I had a hard time getting through it. I was getting so bored. Like, a couple times I even, stopped and didn't really want to bother finishing it, because it was fucking boring. And I was just losing, losing my attention span watching it. And yeah, it was just boring and dull. There's just nothing remotely interesting, barely anything remotely interesting going on in it whatsoever. And it's a shame. But yeah, it honestly, I like to compare it to like an empty shell, where on the outside it had, it looked nice, it looked cool, it looked interesting, you know. But on the inside, there was nothing. You know, no meat, no substance, nothing that made it a fun, cool, interesting Disney animated movie to watch. Nothing that made it worth watching. You know? And honestly, that's honestly one of the worst things a piece of media can be, is boring. Because whenever like a piece of media is bad or awful due to something in it, you know, like bad writing, plot holes, other annoying and bad things, usually when that's the case, at least the movie, at least the piece of media, is not boring. It's not dull, you know. Hell, sometimes even the bad shit makes it interesting. You know, it's like the whole so bad that it's good kind of thing. Yeah, that sort of thing. Sometimes that's what happens. And yeah. But when a piece of media is just boring and dull and there's nothing to it, it's just not even worth watching. Hell, it's not even worth making fun of. Like, it's not even fun to make fun of. Like with some of those bad, awful movies and pieces of media or whatever, at least they're, you know, fun to make fun of. Moana isn't even fun to make fun of. It's just boring. It's just dull. And that's it. It has nothing else going for it. And yeah, and it sucks. Because I was really looking forward to this movie. I was really wanting to like it and enjoy it, and I was hoping that it was going to be, you know, enjoyable and interesting and cool and all that. But sadly, nope. Sadly, it was just a snooze fest. It was just one of the most boring and dull movies ever. And I know some people will say, "Oh, it's a Disney animated movie, you know. It's made for kids. You're not the target demographic. You're not the target audience. That's why you found it boring and dull." I don't think so. I don't believe that. I don't think that Disney animated movies really have a target audience or a target demographic. I feel like they're made for anyone and everyone to possibly like and enjoy and find interesting, you know. And then, yeah, you'll have other people who probably will say, "Oh, it's a Disney princess movie, you know. It's made for girls. That's why you found it boring. That's why you found it dull." And I don't agree with that either. In kind of the same way. Like I said before, Disney animated movies, or even Disney princess movies, are for everyone and anyone. They're not just for girls or kids. You know, they're for anyone and everyone. Anyone and everyone can like and enjoy and find these movies interesting. You don't have to be a kid. You don't have to be a girl. It's not a age thing. It's not a gender thing. This movie is just, I just found it boring and dull. And it didn't engage me, and it didn't pique my interest. And that's about it. But, yeah.